It's been organised by ukactive, the fitness trade body, and I asked its CEO, Huw Edwards, not that Huw Edwards, how the scheme came to be.
We're working with our partners Myzone on this campaign called Fit for Office, which will be a month-long campaign to encourage as many parliamentarians as possible to be physically active. It's a year of competition, no doubt, in Westminster and across the country. So this is the first test of that sort of competitive instinct before the general election. And look, we're encouraging as many parliamentarians, MPs, peers, their teams to set up teams to enter this competition, to look at their daily routines and to encourage the benefits of physical activity to their physical, mental and social well-being. So it's a really positive opportunity to extol the value of physical activity to our parliamentarians, to our lawmakers, both with what they do in Westminster, but what they also do in their constituencies as well.
And how does it work? I mean, how literally and physically are you tracking people?
Well, Myzone, or our partner, are going to lend parliamentarians so they're tracking fitness watches, which will able to then track their activity across the month-long period, and it all aggregate out, so you don't get an advantage if you're embracing this for the first time, as opposed to being a very advanced athlete or someone who does a lot of physical activity. And then we'll aggregate the teams up, or the scores up, across the activity levels, and then keep a weekly sort of running chart on who's doing well, and then there'll be a winner at the end. So encouraging parliamentarians to enter as teams, and then the opportunity to then see who comes out top at the end of the month. But really extolling the importance to, especially in a year like this, on the physical and mental well-being benefits of being physically active.
Well, the Labour MP, Kim Leadbeater, is taking part. And Kim, surely you have an unfair advantage as a former health lecturer and personal trainer.
Well, yes, my background is in health and fitness and physical activity. But in this job, I have to say, I'm not really hitting the mark. It's a pretty unhealthy job, to be quite honest. So I think it's really important that we're encouraging members of Parliament, and indeed staff and people who work in Parliament, to be a little bit more active and to think about their activity levels. But really, it's also about embracing the broader agenda around health and well-being. I think many of us in this country could be a bit more active. And generally, people want to look after their health. Sometimes they just need to be given a bit of an incentive and a bit of a framework within which to do that. So I guess the politics of this for me is that we need to be looking at the health of the nation and looking at how we can take a more preventative approach to people, stopping them getting ill in the first place. I did a report about this last year called Healthy Britain. And I think the politics of whoever's in government has got to be about creating a healthier society. So initiatives like this are really important. And I think parliamentarians have got a duty to try and lead the way. You
say Westminster is not the healthiest place. I mean, were you struck by that when you were elected a couple of years ago?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, being an MP is a very intense job if it's done properly, and you can literally work 24/7 all the time. There's always something to do. Levels of stress are very high, which they are in many jobs, many professions. Finding time to eat properly is something of a challenge. So again, I think it's looking at, what the life of an MP looks like in terms of trying to be healthy is a challenge, but it is for many people. We live in a very fast-paced society. Carving out opportunities for our health and well-being is challenging. And I think Huw's absolutely right. This is a physical activity challenge, but this goes much more broadly. It's looking about our mental health and well-being. It's looking about health of our communities, health of our societies, and the role of physical activity and fitness and sport to bring people together, as well as look after individual health and well-being. So it's something that I believe passionately in, and I'm really hoping lots of MPs and colleagues will embrace the challenge.
Well, that was Kim Leadbeater, the Labour MP, and Huw Edwards from ukactive.